Thank you all for coming today, and I'm hoping that our presentation will just give you a good overview of what Olin Business School is about and some of the opportunities that we have. Before I forget, we do have 2 job openings at the school, and I have put copies of the postings up here on this table at the front. If you're interested in that after the meeting, you can welcome to pick that up and please apply if it's something that you're interested in. I wanted to introduce all the people who will also be presenting with me today, and I'm just going to go around the table. The first is Paula Cruz. Paula is the Associate Dean and Director of Marketing and Communications for Olin Business School. Next is Mark Frostoff. Mark is the Associate Dean and Director of Western Career Center and the Management Communication Lab. And there's Joe Fox, Associate Dean and Director of Graduate Programs. Angie Bauman is the Director of Admissions for our EMBA program, Executive MBA program. And then Paige LaRose, I will probably get her title wrong, Director of Student Development and Strategic Initiatives in the undergraduate programs. And then Sue Dunn, hiding behind the post, is the Associate Director for Budgeting and Operations. I just want to give you a little bit of information about Olin Business School. We are one of the country's leading research-oriented business schools, and we have degree programs that are known for demanding scholastic standards and an emphasis on experiential learning. We do have a Center for Experiential Learning, and in that center, students sign up for these programs where they're going to be working with some of the industries in the area. It gives them practical hands-on experience as they move through the programs. The business school was founded in 1917, and in 1919, the first undergraduate business degree was granted. First MBA program was in 1950, first doctoral in 1958, and then the first executive programs in 1983. We currently have several executive programs. We have one based here in St. Louis. We have one in Denver, one in Kansas City. We have one in Shanghai, and the newest is in Mumbai. And we partner with other schools in those areas to help put through these programs. In 1988, the business school was named in honor of John M. Olin, the chairman of the Olin Corporation and a major benefactor of Washington University. And in 2005, Mahendra Gupta, our current dean, became dean of Olin Business School, and he followed Stuart Green, who was the previous dean. A little bit of information about the school. We currently have 73 tenure or tenure-track faculty. We have 24 other categorized faculty members who are lecturers and visiting professors. And we have about 37 adjuncts. That number fluctuates a little bit depending on what semester it is and what our regular faculty can manage. We have 10 degree programs, 5 non-degree programs. We have 4 research centers. We have about 19,000 alumni. And we do have on-site hotel rooms. The Charles Knight Executive Center is used by a lot of corporations in the area to come in and put on their seminars and programs and training sessions through that. We do have about 160 staff members at Olin Business School. Just some interesting information as I was looking through this, I found out that about 50% of our employees have been at Olin for more than 5 years. We have about 26% of our employees who've been there between 10 and 30 years. We do have a handful who've been here between 30 and 40 years. It's a good place to work. We do employ a large number of students at any given time. We have typically about 300 student employees and student workers. And they do many functions within offices as well as TAs for our faculty members. Turn this over to Paige.
So I'm Paige LaRose, Director of Student Development in the undergraduate program in the business school. The undergraduate program awards the Bachelor of Science in Business Administration degree. So our students are full-time undergraduate students who apply through the regular university admission process. Again, they are full-time students. We offer to these undergraduate degree students 8 majors and 12 minors. We are one of the most selective undergraduate business programs in the nation. You can see we have approximately 3,900 applications every year and 4% selectivity rate. So we are a selective program. For example, this year's freshman class, out of those 3,900 applications, is numbered at 160. So a pretty small class. The population that we serve in the undergraduate program, we're at 915 undergraduate students. And then we have students from across campus, other undergraduates, who have declared second majors and minors. So how that works, it could be an engineering student, for example, getting their engineering degree with a major in computer science. And they decide to complement that computer science major with, say, a second major in finance. So they're able to take coursework in the Olin Business School and earn that second major. Or it could be a minor in any one of the areas that we do have. So that's a little bit about our population. We do serve a lot of students. We have 12 staff members in our office that do this. We're led by the Associate Dean, Steve Moulter. He's my supervisor. And I boiled down what we do into 5 functional areas, really. The first I'll share with you is recruitment and onboarding. So a big focus of what we do is meeting with prospective students. So high school students who are interested in pursuing their undergraduate experience at Washington University. So these interactions with prospective students occur with their individual campus visits, and we meet with them personally in the office. We do several presentations throughout the fall and spring semester to groups of students. We also have some summer programs that highlight the Olin Business School and Washington University, as well as putting on a couple of key and signature events in the spring semester for admitted high school students. We have our Spotlight Weekend and a Scholarship Weekend as well. So part of this recruitment and onboarding bucket is just highlighting the things that we offer. A collaborative community is one of the things that we always highlight. Joyce mentioned our experiential learning opportunities, which is something that we really emphasize to prospective students about how they can have a unique educational experience as an undergraduate at Olin. The onboarding process, once we have recruited them here and retained them after admission, is very important. So we spend a lot of our summer gearing up for orientation, which occurs in August before the semester begins. So we collaborate with campus partners in order to fit into the campus-wide Fair Beginnings or orientation as well. So it's very important that we have that strong relationship with our campus partners. The second bucket that I'll describe is advising. Our staff serves as 4-year advisors for all of these 915 students, as well as the second majors and minors. 9 out of the 12 of us do 4-year academic advising. So it's important that we really engage with our students, build strong relationships. They trust us and come into us to seek assistance with choosing and selecting the major or minor that they ultimately graduate with. It's important for us, our staff, to know the curriculum and our degree requirements, as well as be able to understand what's going on across the undergraduate community and the other schools, art school, architecture, and engineering, arts and sciences as well. We require our students to take 40% of their credits for degree completion outside of the business school. So our students are definitely have a presence in classes in arts and sciences and engineering and art school as well. The third area I'll focus on, that we focus on, is student development. So our office does a number of things to blend the academic and co-curricular experience while they're undergraduate Olin students. We have 28 student organizations that affiliate with the business school, so our staff is responsible for advising these 28 student organizations. We coordinate mentoring programs. We generally assess student satisfaction and their needs in order to help them have a really great undergraduate experience. The fourth area that we focus on is international programs. Currently, approximately 50% of our undergraduates have an off-campus learning experience while they're an undergraduate. So we have 2 staff members who are solely focused on our international programming. These off-campus experience can be a full semester abroad, both a traditional study abroad experience and also offer international internship programs. And we also are offering more and more short-term immersive programs. These tend to be faculty-led, and our students visit a country or maybe another city in the United States for anywhere from 7 to 10 days and have a real immersive immersive experience and dive deep into a particular topic, whatever that faculty member is teaching about. And then finally, I mentioned the 4-year advising, but something else that our office very much focuses on is improving our curriculum. Last year, we just underwent a pretty significant curriculum change for the undergraduate degree, but staying on top of new courses that are introduced by faculty members is part of what we do with curriculum development. We also coordinate and offer for our freshman business students. It's a required Foundations of Business course that they all must take in the fall semester of their freshman year, so that comes out of our office as well. I boiled it down to everything we do in those 5 areas. It seems like we do a lot. As far as what our staff, our skill set and strengths are, I'd say there's a couple themes that really resonate as I was thinking about this today. One is that we're student-facing. So friendly and engaging staff members are a must. Those who are willing to sit down and have coffee with students, be able to close the door and really engage in conversation that might be about thinking about a finance major or a marketing major, what do I do? That eventually leads to, my parents just got a divorce and they can't handle it. So preparation, that sort of skill set, all of our staff members that do the 4-year advising have a master's degree in counseling and student affairs administration. So that the emphasis on being able to engage with students is very important. And then I think another theme that resonated with me is how much we collaborate within the Olin Business School, but also with our campus partners as well. So being able to build connections when we share buildings together and we share programming together, as well as some of the things I mentioned that we do for the undergraduate experience. We need to be able to collaborate and connect with first-year centers, orientation, residence life, when we have students that might be in academic trouble or some other sort of trouble. Just various things like that is being able to connect, strengthen those relationships, so that we can assist the undergraduate experience for our Washington students. So that's pretty much the undergraduate program in a nutshell. And I'm turning it over to Joe to talk about the MBA program.
Thanks, Dave. So good afternoon, everyone. My name is Joe Box. I am the Associate Dean and Director of Graduate Programs for the Olin Business School. The graduate program's population, under the way that we kind of divide and conquer the world, means that we cover the full-time MBA program, which are your traditional 2-year MBA students, quit their jobs, come here full-time, do an internship between the first and the second year, and then go off to a life of luxury and happiness and sending big checks back to Washington University at some point. We also run the professional MBA program. We call it PMBA. You might think of it as a part-time MBA program. These are for people who work full-time during the day, typically, and come to school at night. The former version, the kind of forever version of the program that we have, is a program that runs on Tuesday and Thursday evenings. You go through the core curriculum, committed to 2 nights a week. Once you get through the core curriculum, you can kind of go in whatever direction you want to get your elective classes. There's a variety of options for those. Most of those students finish the program in between 2 and 3 years. Starting in January, we're introducing a new version of the PMBA that's going to be focused on Saturdays. And so you can come 1 day a week on Saturdays, take one of the core classes in the morning, the other in the afternoon. We'll find some lunch for you in between to keep your energy level up. And you can get through the core without having to commit to that 2-night-a-week schedule. We think this has some real appeal for people who travel a little bit further, for people whose jobs are a little bit unpredictable, or whose travel schedules are a little bit unpredictable, or even for those who have just life, family, and other obligations that make committing those evenings harder than maybe a Saturday is. Once again, when they're through with the core of the program, they can start to take their elective courses in the evenings and weekends, however that best fits their program. Beyond the MBA programs, and I will say that Angie will be up here in a moment to tell you about the executive MBA program, which is our other model of completing the MBA. We have three models, 1 degree. There are just 3 different ways to get at it that fit people's times and minds and needs at that point. We also run out of our graduate programs office a number of specialized master's programs. So we have 4 general areas, and in some of those areas we have sub-areas, and in some of those areas we have sub-global areas. And so we call them 4 different degrees, but there's really about 5 or 6 different ways to get at them. We offer a program in accounting for those who want to get a graduate degree in accounting, many of whom are students who want to qualify to sit for the CPA exam, or students who've done something else in undergraduate and now see this as a new career direction that might be appealing to them. This master's in accounting will fit the bill. It takes students who come in different ways, either 2 or 3 semesters to finish it, most typically for full-time students, especially those coming from outside of the university, a 3-semester program that allows them experiential learning opportunities as well. We also have a Master of Science in Finance. There's 2 flavors to this program. One's called Corporate Finance. That's a kind of a more direct route, and a 2-semester program aimed at people who want to work in the banking and or corp fin areas within this country, or within various companies. We also have an MS Finance program in quantitative finance. Highly analytical, highly quantitative, a little bit longer program. Most of the students take 3 semesters to go through that. These are people who are going to work as analysts and backroom operators for a lot of these same kind of companies. We have a Master of Science in Supply Chain Management, which is a 3-semester program. We also have a Master of Science, our newest, in Customer Analytics, which is our answer to kind of the big data craze you might have heard about. These are people who take big sources of data and learn how to brilliantly analyze it, divide it, segment it, understand it, and make decisions based upon it. We also have a Master of Science program in Washington, D.C., Master of Science in Leadership that's offered through the Brookings Executive Education Institute. Have I missed anything, Nikki? Global. Yeah, global. So the other version of the Master of Finance is a Global Masters of Finance, and generally speaking, these are students who come from partner institutions around the world. The original ones were with Singapore Management University, Yonsei in Korea. We've just added a school in Germany, Koblenz, school in Barcelona, Spain. We have one in Israel, thank you. And those students do degree programs at our partner institutions, but come here in the summers and study for 2 straight summers, and then combining what they've done in their home institutions and what they've done here, they earn 2 degrees, one from WashU and one from their home institution. So enough about all these programs. What do we do? That's the question that we're here to answer today. We're organized. You're not going to be able to read this, but I'm sure we'll post this somewhere. We're organized by function rather than by program. We used to be a programmatically defined organization, but we're really more functional now. And we have 2 basic functions that are primary within what we do. We take care of student affairs, which is what Paige would call student services, kind of the advising function, the onboarding function, the father confessor and sister, friend, aunt, uncle, but also an academic advisor and some pretty serious stuff. We do all of that, but we do it for a slightly different crew of students. Our MBAs are on average 28 years old, so maybe they have a different set of issues that face them at that point in life. And our MS students, while they're younger postgraduates still, so they're kind of in a different place in life too. So we do all of that kind of academic advising and so on. We can talk about that more later. But we also run all of our recruiting, admissions, and financial aid out of this office as well. So I would have brought some of my admissions people here to talk to you today, but they're probably in Japan, San Francisco, South America, who knows where they are. We travel. Our admissions people travel. They're road warriors during the fall semester. That's the outreach point in time. And for those who don't travel, they're doing outreach using targeted techniques, direct marketing techniques, and all sorts of other things. So fall is the outreach time for admissions people. Towards the end of fall and through the rest of the cycle, as you might guess, is the time when we start making decisions. So we're interviewing, reading applications, interviewing again, visiting, hosting, doing all sorts of things, ultimately making a decision to get submitted, what kind of financial aid package they get, and then trying to, as we say, yield the students. It's a horrible word because it doesn't sound very humanistic, does it? But in the end, we want those students to be here. We want them to make a difference here. So the purple people up here, if you will, those kind of work on the admissions and outreach side, and the people in whatever that orangish type color is work in the student affairs. Altogether, we have about 22 people in this department, and all but 2 of them are probably full-time, and then they align themselves with one area or the other. The one thing that we do try to do is everyone in our team is capable of doing someone else's role as well. Everybody crosses over, everybody cross-trains. That usually is purple within purple and orange within orange, but we can even cross from there as well. We're versatile, we're a pretty happy group, I think, for the most part, and we enjoy the work that we do. So, altogether, just to give you a quick numbers, we bring in about 400 new graduate students into these programs I just mentioned each and every year. We have about 800 graduate students in steady state. When you add in the EMBA students and others we have, we're over 1,000 graduate students at any one point in time in this program. It's a pretty impressive number, and it's also, I think, a pretty great group of people to work with. I can turn it over to Mark, and I'll come back up. Maybe we'll talk a little bit more when EMBA comes.
Thanks, Joe. Good afternoon, everybody. My name is Mark Frostoff. I'm the Associate Dean Director of the Western Career Center and the Management Communication Center. I'm also a Washington University alum. I received my Master's in Health Administration on the medical campus back in 1982. So it's great to be back. I'm finishing my 7th year here at Olin. The mission of the Western Career Center is to be the best career services center at a business school across the nation and to provide our students a competitive edge in a very competitive landscape of business undergraduate and graduate students. The Western Career Center does interact with all students of the Olin Business School. So the undergraduate programs that Paige mentioned and the programs that Joe just introduced at the graduate level, all of those students, whether they're graduate students, executive MBA students, and as well as the 19,000 alumni, all have lifelong access to the Western Career Center at no charge. That is a big distinction for the Olin Business School at Washington University, as some business schools actually charge their alumni for career services, and we provide it lifelong. So that means we, myself and a few members of my team, we can travel internationally to meet with our alumni, as well as our current students, so that we really can understand what the marketplace wants. And I think that's one real conduit between the Western Career Center at Olin and other career centers and business schools, that we actually provide faculty direct feedback, the curriculum committees, the program directors, on exactly what the marketplace wants. So the marketplace wants a different skill set. We learn about it through our interaction with employers on campus and our recruiting trips, so that we can be nimble. I say that we are very, not only are we nimble as an Olin Business School, but we do react to the market. And I think the introduction of the Masters in Customer Analytics was a reaction to the big data. Other schools may have entered that arena earlier, but we do, in fact, make a difference when it comes to what students are learning. So in other business schools, you open up a textbook, you get the same basic material, maybe 80% of what every business student in the country learns. I think the distinction at Olin and the Western Career Center is that we make sure that our students are market ready from day one, and that they can have an impact in the companies that hire them. So some of the key indicators that we're extremely proud of is, in fact, you look at the column under the employment and offer, bottom left, may not be as publicly known, but this year, 99% of our undergraduate business students are employed. At graduation, it was 93%. It's safe to assume that we have the highest employment rate in the country of any undergraduate business program in the top 10. Not too far behind, however, is the graduate program, I should say ahead. For the last 6 years, our MBA program ranked in the top 5 employment outcomes in the top 20 of nationally ranked business MBA programs. So we tend to hit that 97, 99% rate on an annual level. Part of the reason, obviously, is the team of the Western Career Center, but more importantly, the outstanding students that my colleagues bring in does make it a little bit easier. And Washington University does a great job. But at the Western Career Center, we do, in fact, have industry career specialists that only meet with students. So we're an organization that is a student-facing requirement, a mission, and we have an employer-facing mission. And I have 2 teams that collaborate extensively together to ensure that both customer bases, that our students are getting the type of career advising that they expect to help achieve their ambitions when they graduate from Olin, and that our employee relations team is bringing the right mix of employers. So we could bring any number of employers to WashU, but we also want to make sure that we bring the right employers. So there are, other schools will have 300 employers, but maybe only 100 employers that are on the students' target list. So we listen very carefully to students' ambitions during orientation. We talk to the admissions teams to get a sense of what the incoming class wants. So we can anticipate we need to bring more consulting firms that we've done over the past several years, whether it's investment banking or banking, traditional disciplines, but now with more entrepreneurial thinking students are joining. So we're working very closely with T-Rex and Cortex and the Corridor startup ecosystem here in St. Louis to bring more startups to our, many of our undergraduates actually come with business ownership experience even before they come in as freshmen. So we want to keep that momentum going. Another highlight of the Western Career Center is that we do have a required career education component. And we do require all of our sophomores to take a career education course. That again, very few business schools will provide credit for career education. Olin, in fact, does have a credit-bearing course for our sophomores. At our specialized masters, we have several career education courses that are aligned with our Management Communication Center. And at the MBA, Joe's team and my team collaborate on a yearly initiative called Communication at Olin that starts at the orientation level. Even before all the students get, we have an international student orientation that is very focused on communication and career preparedness, and then we do so throughout the entire academic year as we collaborate. I won't review statistics, but we do keep ourselves pretty busy with more than 2,400 appointments, broken down again by, as you can see, every possible degree, from freshman to executive MBA. So the full gamut. And there's about 120 companies that come on campus every year. We just completed our 2 major Meet the Firm events in September where we had more than 100 companies in total. We also support a diversity recruiting initiative this year for the first time for our graduate students. And so we're very pleased to continue to provide initiatives that bring companies from international companies to Olin to gather up the best talent that we believe enters the market. Our organization is split along functional lines. So on the right, on the left, are what we call our career advisors. Industry career specialists is probably a better name. Each member of the career advising team has industry experience. Many of them have 20 plus years of experience, whether it's in finance, marketing, supply chain, entrepreneurship, consulting. We have a core of adjunct or part-time industry career specialists, about a half a dozen of them. And they each work for us maybe 8 to 10 hours a week, and they really bring in practical work experience. They work here in St. Louis, and so they even go to that next level. So after a student has decided exactly what career path they want, they have a chance to talk to someone who's in quantitative finance, for example. So our Masters of Finance quantitative students get someone who can really quiz them on the technical aspects of the job beyond just the behavioral interview preparation. So we really dig very deep in preparing our students both from a technical, behavioral, and a case interview strategy. All of the business disciplines are covered. We have a career education component that aligns with the Management Communication Center. We have alumni and strategic initiatives at our employer relations department, and they are outwardly facing, but they also collaborate extensively with all of our student clubs. So the Western Career Center will sponsor most of the career-related club events in collaboration with Joe's office. So our healthcare club, life sciences club, entrepreneur venture capital club, they all get support from the Career Center so that they can bring in speakers and panelists and alumni, again, to continue to build their portfolio of knowledge so that they can be competitive in the marketplace. And then, of course, we have our operations team. We have an independent website that's supported by our next speaker, by Paula. We have receptionist and office, and I have assumed the role of the director of the Management Communication Center. We have a full-time director who just added a part-time communication. So it's a busy place. We see everybody. We have our hands in everything. I'm not sure if my colleagues enjoy that or not, but we do. But I think the proof of the pudding, obviously, is the fact that it's always great to hear Dean Gupta and my colleagues talk about the fact that historically over the last 7+ years, we have been leading the nation in employment outcomes. And I think, again, that's a tribute to our university, our business school, and more importantly, the faculty and students, because it made my job a little bit easier, knowing that when you have the best talent in the country, it's a lot easier to get employers who want to continue to hire them and do a fantastic job. There's probably the most refreshing things about being in career services. Some of my peers may not agree, but I actually think it's kind of fun. So it's a great place to work. We don't have any vacancies at this point, but every once in a while, we're always looking for people that have very unique backgrounds. So, you know, to have a unique background and there's an interest, there's always an opportunity to talk with us because we continue to want to expand our advising hours and an interest in our communication center where we work closely with our international students to help them with English as a second language. So, all I believe is.
I'm Paula Cruz, and I lead the marketing and communications team at Olin. I'm in my 5th year at Olin. I'm an Olin undergrad. I won't give you a year. So I did my undergrad here at Olin and actually got my job at Anheuser-Busch through the Western Career Center at that time. So I spent about 16 years at Anheuser-Busch and left in 2006 before the buyout and went to the advertising agency world in St. Louis. I'm working with a couple different agencies on predominantly beer brands. So this is my first time I haven't worked on beer brands. But,
Is this different?
So why do we need a marketing department at the business school? Don't we have public affairs? So I know Jill Friedman has come here and spoken to this group before. We focus predominantly on the Olin Business School, and our job obviously is brand awareness and reputation building. Put simply, we want to rank really high in the minds of our prospective students and parents and influential people in the community and faculty, so we work really hard to raise that brand awareness and reputation building. We are the protectors of brand consistency, so in this hyperactive world, we always want to change things and change colors and change logos, so we work hard to try and have brand consistency so you can quickly recognize us in the marketplace. We do work on lead generation, which is really important across all the programs. We need students, obviously. And so that's a big focus for us and is becoming even more of a way that I'll talk on the next slide in terms of metrics and analytics. And so marketing has really been shifting a lot in the last 5 years. And we're growing sort of deeper in the whole sales process in that we work on partnering with the programs. They take the lead, obviously, on nurturing all the prospective students, but we're becoming more and more active in that. So who are our audiences? Besides lots of secondary audiences, we do focus on prospective students and parents. Admissions obviously works towards our prospective students in the undergraduate, but we do really work on messaging to parents as well. Corporate partners, as Mark spoke about, and also Paige spoke about in terms of experiential learning and corporate recruiters, and we have lots of alums, obviously, that we speak to on a daily basis. Media, so getting our faculty out there as thought leaders. Either it's a quote in the media or having research picked up, obviously helps with the first bullet at the top. Other business school deans, so we don't really think about that, but rankings, many of the rankings that are out in Bloomberg and U.S. News and World Report, other business school deans rank each other. So we do have efforts around that. No? There we go. Okay, so how do we do it? So we think of ourselves as strategic planners at the first initial point. We work towards that as much as we can, but we obviously have to execute, and more in today's world in the marketing field, we're doing a lot of measurement. So over here on the side, I just put an interesting graphic here that, years ago, especially at AV, the marketers came up with the brand, and then they went out and bought lots of media, and then the salespeople went out into the field, and they were very separated functions, and they would speak kind of infrequently. In today's world, we work very closely with the recruitment teams, whether it's helping them with messaging when they're going out into the field and making sure that that same message that they're saying when they're speaking to a prospective student is reflective as what's on the website. This is reflective as what we're putting out on social media, is reflective as what they'll find in the printed brochures. So we use lots of different tactics. Obviously, our websites are one of the most important things that we work on. It's the #1 way that our students say that they find out information. In today's consumer world, there's lots of information out there. So our prospective students come to us with a lot of information than they would have, say, 10 or 15 years ago in terms of, depending upon printed materials and person-to-person interaction. So when consumers get to us, they've got a lot of information about our competitors as well as ourselves. Social media, we're on Instagram, Facebook, Twitter, LinkedIn, you name it, we're there. We haven't done Pinterest yet, so. Our blog is very active, so I encourage you to take a look at our blog. You can find it from the homepage, or the landing page of our website, or olinblog.woostel.edu. We also manage websites for Mark, and as well as our main website, which I know you all know how to find. Video, we've gotten very deep in video. As you know, YouTube has become a place, a destination place where people actually go and search. We used to use YouTube as a way to just house videos, and now it's actually become a social media outlet where consumers go out and find playlists and so forth. Print collateral, print is not dead. I mean, you know, we are certainly moving to a more minimal push in print, but our alumni magazine survey, 3/4 of our alumni across all age groups still ask us to send a printed alumni magazine. So you don't want to touch that and read it. We both do e-newsletters, e-blasts, so direct mail, very little of it, but we still do some direct mail. We do media buying, or we manage the media buying, both traditional, we're a little bit in print and radio, out airport billboards, if you've seen the airport signage here in St. Louis and in Denver and Kansas City. And we do quite a bit more of online buying in the last couple of years. So if you see the website ads that you'll see, or we do paid search. So if you're searching for a business school, we want to be in that top box. We do work very closely with public affairs to get our faculty and our programs in the media. So we call that earned media, and lots of public relations work that we work on a daily basis with them. Search engine optimization, events, and digital signage. If you've been in the new buildings, you'll see that we have quite expansive digital signage presence. So who are we and what do we look for? We're a very flat team, so we have 13 total, counting myself. We have an open position up here in the box in the digital team. We're very separated by functions, but we spend lots of time together working on a daily basis. So on the creative team, we have a couple folks that we do some internal design, or they'll work with freelancers, or we also have student designers. And we have one writer in that team. Then we have digital, and that team manages all the websites for Olin, predominantly most of the updates. And open position there is for a content specialist. Brand management, we have 4, so they are actually the liaison to all the brands and programs and centers. We have 2 on our event team. We put on over 50 events on an annual basis with about 10,000 attendees. Alumni support, so we support alumni both from a marketing standpoint, but also outreach in terms of emails and gift letters and so forth. So we're very nimble, as Mark mentioned. I mean, we have lots going on every day. We have about 300 to 400 projects a year, which could be as simple as a postcard and as large as our dedication event or a complete brand refresh. So we have 10 programs, 5 centers. We call on approximately 25 different clients and their teams. And to survive all that, we have a very defined process, and so we try to stick to that. And we sort of balance our workload between using internal and external agencies and freelancers and students. So what we look for in folks are very nimble, strong attention to detail. We typically, in the brand management area, look for folks that have either had some agency time or maybe served on a brand management team or are currently in marketing. On digital, it's a pretty specific skill set, but we typically look for folks that at least had some experience with the content management system and really strong writers there. In terms of events, obviously event planners, project managers, very focused on detail. So that's who we are. So I think Sue's done this when you come up and talk about budgeting.
Hi, I'm Sue Dunn. I'm with the Olin Budget and Operations Group. We have 2 primary clients. One is all of the departments within Olin, and the other is our central fiscal unit. We provide data processing for all the departments. Most departments have a staff member that collects receipts and submits them to us, whether they travel, for vendor payments, things like that. So we audit and input those and send them on to the CFU. We also provide budgeting and analysis for the departments. We try to work with all our departments and faculty to ensure that they are complying with WASHU policies, different things like human subject payments, travel policies, things like that. We do research. Our dean is a cost accountant, so he'll come up with questions for how much we've spent with certain types of vendors and certain types of expenses. So, and then you've heard many of the different initiatives that our departments put on. So we try to support those folks in departments to provide them streamlined ways to work with them on their missions. A lot of what we do deals with reporting and analysis. WASHU's given a nice flexible accounting structure, which is wonderful and hideous at the same time, because we have to report to our departments in a meaningful way that will be useful for them to report.
Wonderful Tuesdays.
I'm trying to be positive. And then we have to turn the same data around and report to the CFU, who has a completely different way of looking at our expenses. Some of our major expenses, obviously, are compensation for our faculty and staff. Unbalanced there on the controllable cost, we have a lot of recruiting and admissions costs, student services, and our academic support. We try to create some consistency to make things a little easier. We do tax reporting, gift and scholarship, fund analysis and projection. One of the great things about our department is that we get a lot of variety. The building that we work in is the Charles F. Knight Center. We have a third-party Aramark that runs that for us, so we have some oversight into their activities. We also provide accounting assistance for another Brookings Institution division, the Engelberg Center for Healthcare Reform. We're constantly having new degree programs, it seems like, and new centers, which is exciting. It's great getting to work with all the departments at Olin. All of the staff, not only the folks who sit here in front of you, but all of their staff, genuinely care about the students' needs and concerns. When I've met with Joe's staff on joint students, they have nothing in front of them, and we go through 100 students, name by name, and they know all about these students in their path. So they couldn't do that unless they really cared. That's exciting to see, and we get to share in that a little bit just because we help support them. We look for experience a lot when we look for new staff. We've had a lot of turnover recently. We have a great group of people now. We did then too, but accounting skills are very important. Everyone has to pay bills, so having that ability is nice to be able to go from school to school or department to department. Obviously, we need people that have attention to detail and some communication skills because we have a wide audience. We also look for people that are self-motivated, reliable, and it's just always a great place to work. So, thank you. Oh no, is that Angie Brown?
Hello everyone, I'm excited to be here, and not only is Olin a great place to work, it's also a great place for a WashU employee to go to school. And so we talked about all of the programs that we have in the business school, but there are a few that are available for Washington University employees. How many of you are aware of the employee tuition benefit? Everyone's hands goes up, good. So there's a few different programs. The part-time professional MBA program is a great program for WashU employees. Also the executive MBA program, our specialized masters, PhD program, and also we have non-degree programs through the executive programs suite. So Joe talked a little bit about our MBAs and how we have 3 different ways to get an MBA. MBA at WashU. There's a number of reasons why people select to go back to school to get an MBA. Many times it's to accelerate their career. Maybe they want to switch and do something different, or they just want to explore what else is possible. They've had a great career and they want to explore more. So both the professional and the executive MBA offer a great opportunity for people to do that. Both programs are get a full MBA at the end, AACSB accredited, wonderful programs, great faculty, but they're meeting different target audiences and where you're at in your career. So for the executive MBA, we're looking for middle managers to executives who are decision makers in their organization, leading people, managing budgets. On average, they have 15 years of professional experience, 8 years of management experience, and the age ranges from a few young rock stars that are maybe in their early 30s, late 20s, all the way up to 60 plus. So we have a few graduates that are here in the room today, and so if you have any questions about the program from a first-hand experience, I'm sure Nikki or Tanya would be happy to do that for you. Also, the program layout of the executive MBA meets one time a month, and I'm actually going to show you the calendar. So it's great for people who travel a lot, who are managing their family, work-life balance, all of those things, and can't be out of the office for significant periods of time. So we have 4 residencies over the course of the 21 program. We also have class one time a month on a Thursday, Friday, and Saturday. The program, the curriculum is 20 months focused on you. It's a strategic leadership program, so you're going to get the nuts and bolts of all the business core curriculum that you need, but you're also going to learn how to apply these strategically and also be influential in your organization to learn and motivate your team to get the right things done. So this is just a quick snapshot about the program, the calendar. The admissions portion for both the professional and the executive MBA are different, and so we can talk to you more specifically about that, helping you choose the right program based upon where you're at in your career and walk you through those admissions processes at a later time. To learn more, we have actually some opportunities coming up in the month of October for both the executive and the professional MBA. There's also going to be in November a lunch and learn for all WashU employees, and the invitation should be coming out in the next few weeks. And that's a great opportunity over lunch, just like today, to learn more about all of the programs available at Washington University to take advantage of that wonderful education benefit.
Yeah. I think they wanted me to say a few more words about the PMBA or the professional, and I think I was able to cover that in my earlier remarks. But as Angie pointed out, I think not only is Olin a great place to work, which I think you can see by the people here and kind of our esprit de corps with one another, but it's also a great place to continue your own education, whether it's in a degree program or a non-degree professional development, whatever it might be. So we encourage you to keep a close eye on what we do. Come visit us whenever you want. Keep an eye out for opportunities that might come up, like the job posting that's up on the front table here now in the college area. And just to go over for informational interviews too. If you want to find out about us, come visit us. We're open door for sure. Thank you.
Well, thank you all for coming, and I want to thank my colleagues for joining me and helping me today, and I very much appreciate their time. And if you have any questions, we'll be kind of hanging around here a little bit and be happy to answer any of them. Thank you.